Hello, Merry Christmas, and welcome to another Game Nexus video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Christmas Nights, released in 1996 on the Sega Saturn. The original version of Nights, which I hold right here, was released in July of 96 in Japan. As you can see here, that's the original Nights into Dreams. And then in December of 1996 in Japan, they released Christmas Nights, which got bundled with certain Sega Saturn bundles. And as you can see on the corner here, I'm not sure if you can read that, but it's a not for resale disc, because this disc was never actually sold on its own. On the back here, as you can see, there's the white 3D controller. Sadly, my gray Saturn didn't get any love when it came to 3D controller designs, because at this point, the Model 2 white Saturn was already out, and yeah, they weren't making anything for my nice little gray Saturn there. And as you can see here, there's Knights holding a present. And just like on the standard edition of the game, you can see that it has the same old It's a Dream paradox, but it's sideways here. And right here it says, "Only this winter, present from Knights, Holy Night, Elliot and Clarice have a dream. They'll meet Knights in the dream again, and fly up into the air together." And I just want to show you the manual real quick, because this is a nice little manual here. This game did not have a spine card, since it was never actually sold on its own. And as you can see here, there's that same old Christmas greeting again. And here's some nice little Christmas scenery. There are the two characters, Elliot and Clarice, who are actually shown in their Christmas outfits. Here's various instructions on how to play the game. Nothing all that exciting here. It shows various pictures of the game being shown in the Christmas version. And of course, this is nicely themed with Christmas presents, telling you all the little bonus items you can get. And there's some crazy enemies and stuff. And yeah, that's it. That's the manual here. So I'm just going to put this back in here real quick. And what I have here that I'm going to be playing the game with is the American 3D controller, since I don't have a Japanese 3D controller. But luckily, just like every game console ever made, the Sega Saturn's controllers are universal. I can use my Japanese light gun on the American system. I can use my 3D controller from America on the Japanese system. As you can see here, it's got the joystick, which allows you to do all the nice little moves when you're playing Nights into Dreams. So we're going to get right into this. I'm going to remove the camera from the tripod here and move that out of our way. And here's my Sega Saturn system. I'm hand holding this, so it's probably going to seem like you're in an earthquake. And see, here's the disc. You'll see it has the same old Christmas Nights, Knights holding a present, and the same Only This Winter thing. So we're just going to close the system, turn it on, see our nice little Model 1 LEDs come on, and we look up here. And, of course, here comes our boot sequence from a Model 1 Saturn. And then once the system reads the disc, which takes a second or two here, we'll get right into it. Okay, I'm going to get right into this. Due to YouTube's time constraints, I couldn't post all the intros, but I'll upload those in a separate video. Now, that's the weirdest thing I thought about Nights into Dreams. A lot of times playing this game, I have this problem where all the enemies just kind of gang rape my character, and the character just dies right away. I never quite understood that. I'm sure somebody who plays this game a lot could shed some light. And I'm going to say this like I've said a lot of times before. I've played a bit of Nights into Dreams, but not really all that much, so I'm really not an expert, so try not to judge me too harshly. I'm more or less just showing off this special Christmas version of the game. Of course, if you did not notice already, everything is more or less Christmas themed. You'll see like the snow all over the ground, and you'll see all the characters have their Santa costumes, and there's red and green everywhere, and Christmas trees like on the bottom and the top. And if you're not familiar with Nights into Dreams, this game was released in 1996 in all regions on the Sega Saturn, July 5th in Japan, August 21st in North America, and October 7th in PAL territories. Of course, we didn't get this Christmas version until December of 1996. as I'd mentioned earlier in the intro there. Then there was actually a couple of extra versions of this. There was a port to the PC in 2003, March 21st, 2003 in Japan. And then there was a remake on the Sony PlayStation 2 in Japan on February 21st of 2008. But sadly it appears that that remake never got brought anywhere. And with this game, basically what you get is you get like, each level has a couple of stages, and more or less it's just like a different layout of stuff that you fly through, and different rings you fly through, and different enemies and stuff, and different things that you swirl around. That's what's really cool about this game. If you've never played something like this before, I'd highly recommend giving it a try, because you get that like sensation of flight that was very unique at the time. And I know a lot of people might be looking at this saying, oh, these graphics are just horrible, but at the time, these graphics were simply amazing, and I still think they look great for this day. And basically, more or less, your mission here is to get all the different things to get the points, and then go through these rings. I know, people are going to say, oh, I hate going through rings because of Superman 64, but honestly, in this game, it's really fun, and it's enjoyable. And if you don't hear it already, of course, there's the Christmas music playing in the background, so there's no way not to hear that. And just like in my video last year, it actually is Jingle Bells, but it's kind of a different arrangement of it. It's not as like hard rock as Sega GT Holiday Drive. And basically what you're doing is when you get enough points or earn enough score or whatever it actually uses to judge, when you go into that like orb thing, it'll tell you. So once it says like bonus time started, then you know that you're done the level. And once you go through the gate again in the beginning of the level, it'll be the next little stage of this level, and then the number will increment, and then you'll have a different layout. So that's basically how this Nights into Dreams work if you're not familiar with it at all. And the only real difference between playing the two characters in this game is if you run out of time and you transform out of being the Knight's character, you will be that character, and you basically more or less have to run away from this alarm clock, which would get you out of your dream. More or less, that's what's called Nights into Dreams, because more or less what you're seeing here is the kid is dreaming all of this, which makes a lot more sense than to say that this is like some sort of weird fancy world. But yeah, basically the idea is this is a dream, and yeah, this is the dream that the kids have at night, more or less. I'm not 100% sure on the story, but to me that's what it seems like. And as you just saw a little while there ago, if you did not get enough points when you went through that orb thing, you just go through the gate at the end of the stage, and the little thing spins, and you just keep going, and you do the whole thing again until you have enough of your points and you earn enough score, or whatever it is this game uses to promote you. And if you saw right there where it says "do not mind," I think basically what it was telling me is I didn't go fast enough through that whole twist there, and that's what why I didn't. It didn't say something, because the first time it said, I think, good medium loop or good middle loop or something. It has something to do with that ribbon that comes off the edge of your character, and if you could like spin around and touch that ribbon again, it looks like you would complete the loop, as they call it. And sadly, that was another time I wasn't able to complete this part of the thing. And as I had mentioned before, that when you run out of all of your time, you turn back into your chosen character, which of course here was Claris. The playing as the regular character is a little bit harder than playing as Knights, of course, because in that when you're playing as Knights, you can fly, and you don't have to worry about this alarm clock waking you up. And basically this arrow points you toward your goal, so it helps a little bit since you can't fly around. You can just jump into the thing and complete the stage and then get back to the gate. the good part about the arrow is, even if going the wrong way in the stage is the quickest way to get there with avoiding your alarm clock, then you will it'll tell you to go that way. Because if you get hit by that alarm clock, you're game over, you're dead. It's done. It'll say like, I believe it says like night over or dream over, something like that. So you want to try your best to avoid that and not get hit with it at all. Because if you do, as I said, you're done and you got to start all over again. And that thing seems to get a little bit faster as you go on, but if you make it, you can keep going. And this game seems to frown upon losing your knight's power, if you will, so it usually grades you really low if you do that. And a lot of times when I went out to these layouts and these levels, I didn't quite notice where the enemies would be, so I'd always bump into them, and if you don't hit a button at the right time, you will take damage, and I'm guessing you lose some score because it says like -5 or something, so that would make you lose points or energy to get toward the next stage of this game. I think it's cool how the rings are all green and they have the bows, so they look kind of like Christmas wreaths, so that's kind of nice. And as I'd mentioned in the intro there, it really is cool using the 3D controller, because using the analog stick on there is a lot more comfortable than using any kind of D-pad you'd use. So it does really make this game feel a bit more fluid as opposed to, say, using just a regular old D-pad, which probably would be a bit stiff. You can still play it, but it's just not going to be the same experience because they made that controller for this game. A few other games used it, but yeah, this game was the 3D controller game. Kind of like on Nintendo World Class Track Meet was the game that showed off the power pad, and then of course a few other companies used it, but usually when you think of the power pad, you think of World Class Track Meet. And the funny thing is, this game's actually described as a flying platformer, which is definitely something different. And sadly there I lost the power again, so have to jump around hoping not to get hit by that alarm clock that's trying to get you. And I should jump up the mountains here and try to get into the actual level. And that's another one where I did really awful. And it basically gives you your rating for your whole level, considering all 4 stages. And I definitely want to make sure I showed you this part here, because this shows me fighting this boss, which is also Christmas colored with all these different colored things. And what happens here is you just gotta like grab onto the enemy, hit the button, and its tail gets shorter, and once its tail's all the way gone, it's dead. So, you know, it's not a hard boss, rinse, repeat, and that's how you do it. But as I learned here the hard way is you want to try to get its head on. You don't want to go for the back, because what'll end up happening is its tail will hit you and you'll get hurt, and you don't want that to happen, because you wouldn't want to die at this stage in the game. So we just keep on doing that, and once this boss is dead, it's gonna be the end of this like demo gift version of Nights into Dreams. Well, I highly recommend giving a try to Christmas Nights if you're in a Christmas mood. And in the next video I upload, I will show you the intros to Nights into Dreams, since I couldn't fit it in this one. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I shall be seeing all of you guys later. Bye.